Hi friends, today I will show you how to write a SQL query to calculate cumulative sum or running total. Okay, so first of all, let's see what is cumulative sum or running total. Okay, I will explain with some example. Suppose I have some sales details. This is my sales details table where I have department ID, quarter and sales amount. So if you see here, I have two distinct departments data, 101, okay, and 102, and I have data for 1 year of 4 quarters, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Again, same for 1 or 2 department, and I have sales amount for each quarter, right? So now, what is cumulative sum? Cumulative sum is nothing but the sum of current quarter or current month, current value plus previous months or previous quarters or previous values. Suppose when I calculate the cumulative sum for the first quarter, it is same amount. But when I am calculating the cumulative sum for the second quarter, this is sum of this current quarter Q2 plus previous quarter Q1. So that is 7,000 plus 6,500, 13,500. So when I look at quarter 4 for the same department, so what is the cumulative sum for quarter 4? Okay, so the sum of all current quarter and previous all quarters. Okay, so the sum is 31,400, the same. Okay, so this is called cumulative sum. We call this as running total as well. Okay, so now how to calculate this by using a SQL query, I will explain you. Okay, so this is very easy. First of all, let's set up this data. Okay, so we need this data, right? If I want to fetch this output, first of all I have to set up this data. Okay, so let's see how we can set up the data and how we can calculate the cumulative sum. Okay, so first of all I am creating a table called sales summary with three fields: department ID, quarter and sales amount. The same I have shown here: department ID, quarter and sales amount. Okay, and I am inserting the same data whatever I just shown in the Excel. I am inserting the same values into this table by using this insert query. So if you want to check the data after inserting, just you can run this select star from sales summary. Okay, now my input data is ready after this. Okay, now I want to calculate this cumulative sales amount. Okay, so let's see. First of all, I'll go through this query, then I will explain with the example we have seen here. Okay, so first of all, what are all the things we need to fetch into the output? Okay, all the fields from the input. So I want to fetch all these fields into the output: department ID, quarter, sales amount. Okay, so that's why I'm bringing all this from some table, and then I'm calculating the cumulative sales amount. Okay, so I'm selecting this data from S1. So if you see S1, what is S1? uh, I have given S1 as the alias name for sales summary table. And if you see, I'm using the sales summary again with another alias name S2. So what we call this in SQL, when we are joining a table with the same table, so we call that as self join. So to calculate the cumulative sum or running total, I'm using self join concept. Okay, so I am joining both the tables on which key. So if you see here, what is the common key between ta- if I want to join the same table, this table with same table, so what is the my join key? So I'm using department ID as the join key. Okay, I will explain this later. What is this condition? How this will calculate the cumulative sum? Okay, so bring if I want to calculate sum, which is aggregate function, then I have to mention the group by class. I am grouping by this department ID, quarter and sales amount. Okay, and if I want to see the data in some order, like department wise and then quarter wise, that's why I'm using order by class, order by department ID and quarter. Now, how this condition is calculating the cumulative sales amount? Let's see. Okay, so I'm using self join, right? That means joining the table with the same table. Okay, so let me copy here and here the same table, and let's copy the query as well. Okay, so this part is enough for us. Okay, let me bring entire query. So if you see here, what is the main condition which calculates the cumulative sum? This is the condition, S2 dot quarter less than or equals to S1 dot quarter. So let's see. So now the self join, this is my S1 table and this is my S2 table. So I am bringing all the tables from all the fields from S1, department ID, okay, quarter, sales amount, and the sum of sales amount from S2 table. This is my cumulative sales amount. Now let's go through this condition. Okay, so what I am doing, I am joining both the tables S1 and S2 based on the department ID. So let's go record by record. So for while calculating the cumulative sum for the first record, it will compare 101 with 101. So here there are four matches. Okay, but there is another condition while joining, S2 dot quarter less than or equals to S1 dot quarter. So if you see this quarter field is a varchar field. Still we can apply less than and greater than, and we can compare the varchar fields. So when you see S2 dot quarter, S2 dot quarter, what is the value? Q1. Q1 less than or equals to which of these four values? Because we are matching on 101 department ID, right? So it matches for four records. Okay, so 101 is matching with four times. But when you check this condition, S2 dot quarter 1 is less than or equals to S1 dot quarter 1. So when we check that condition, it matches only with this record, right? So it will calculate the amount, it will sum up the amount till here only. So as we have only one record, it will fetch as it is. Okay, so that's why cumulative sum for the first record is the same value. And let's come to the second record. So it will match 101 with all the four records. But the second condition, where S2 dot quarter less than or equals to S1 dot quarter, it will match only with these two records, because Q2 is less than Q2, Q2 less than or equals to Q1. So it matches with only these two rows, right? Okay, so for the second record, let's see again. Okay, so when we are matching the data, joining the data by department ID, so it matches to all the four records, right? And so we are calculating the sum from S2 table, right? So let's compare the quarter fields. Okay, so S2 dot quarter less than or equals to S1 dot quarter. That means S1 dot quarter greater than or equals to, this value is greater than or equals to these two, right? Q2 is greater than Q1 and Q2 equals to Q2. So it matches both these conditions. So what it will do, it will sum of S2 dot sales amount. So 7,000 plus 6,500. So what is the value? 13,500. And if you see here, this is the sum. Okay, and let's come to the third record. So for the third record, so 101 is matching with again all the 101 records, but again the second condition is S2 dot quarter less than or equals to S1 dot quarter, which means S1 dot quarter greater than or equals to S2 dot quarter. So what is the S1 dot quarter? So Q3 is greater than or equals to, what are all these three, what are all the four values? Okay, Q3 greater than Q1, Q3 greater than Q2, Q3 equals to Q3, but Q3 less than Q4, right? So if you are confusing, we can write this condition like this as well. Okay, so both are same, S1 dot quarter greater than or equals to S2 dot quarter. So if I write like this, maybe it will be easy for you. Okay, so let's check for the fourth record again. Okay, so we are joining on department ID 101 equals to 101, and for the four records, so S1 dot quarter greater than or equals to S2 dot quarter. So Q4 greater than Q1, Q2, Q3 and equals to Q4. So it will sum all the sales amount. So what is the sum of all these four amounts? 31,400. So the same here. Okay. Like this, it is comparing based on the quarter. Okay. And summing up the amount with the previous all quarters. Like this. For Q2, this is the amount, total amount. For Q3, sum of all this. For Q4, again like this. And when it comes to the fifth record, this is now department number is changing. Again it will calculate from starting for the next record. So when it matches with these four records, again Q1 less than or equals to Q1. That's why it will bring just only 5,800. Again for Q2, this Q2 greater than or equals to these two records. That's why it will sum of these two and it will fetch here. Like this, for the Q4 of 102 department, this is sum of all these four records, four amounts, which is 26,200. The same here. Okay. This is how the data will be compared when we are doing the self join, and the cumulative sales amount will be calculated. Okay. Now let's practice the same. Okay. Let's execute these queries. Okay. I am just using Snowflake for calculating, for writing these queries. So first of all, I am creating this table. Okay. So table successfully created. I am inserting data. Okay, so 8 rows inserted, and just see those 8 rows. So you can see these are the 8 rows. Okay, 101 department 4 records and 102 department 4 records. Now let's run the cumulative sum query. Okay. Okay, so now you can see the cumulative sales amount at the last column. Okay, so this is how we can calculate cumulative sum or running total by using SQL query. And if you don't have Snowflake to execute these queries, you can execute these are common queries. You can execute these queries in any database. So if you don't have any database installed, what you can do, you can simply go to Google. Okay, type online SQL compiler. Okay, so select whatever coming on the top. Okay, so we can practice SQL queries by using these online compilers. Okay, so just remove this part and copy paste your queries here and execute. First of all, I am creating this table here. So as of now they are giving three tables: customer, order and shipping for our practice. Okay, so if you see here, this is the data. Okay, customers, orders and shippings, but I am creating a new table for our practice. So I'm just moving this out. Okay, so I'm creating this table. Okay, SQL table successfully created. If you see here, so our new table created: sales summary with department ID, quarter and sales amount. Okay, now I want to insert this data. Okay, so 8 records inserted, and let's see if you want confirmation. Okay, so you can see 8 records here, right? Okay, so you can see all the 8 records. Now just execute this query. Okay, so you can see the cumulative amount at the last field. Okay, so 6,500 plus 7,000, 13,500. 13,500 plus 9,200, which is 22,700. Okay, like this it is calculating the cumulative sum or running total. So whenever you feel you don't have any equipment for running SQL queries or practicing SQL queries, you can use this online SQL editors or compilers. Okay, they are very easy to use. You can create the tables, you can practice, and whenever you just close this session, all your tables will be dropped. So be careful. Okay. So I will paste all these queries in the description of this video so you can practice. And for your practice, I am giving one more example. Okay, so I have an input table like this with only two fields, month and amount. Okay, so month like January to December 1 to 12 I have, and I want to calculate the total amount, cumulative sum for each and every month. Okay, suppose for the month 2 it is 220 plus 150, which is 370, and for a cumulative sum of 12 months, which is 3250, the same. So you can set up this data and you can practice by writing some queries. Okay, so I hope this is helpful. Thank you so much.